Hello folks and welcome to Chapter 3, Math TV. We are going to be looking at trigonometry today. I know how excited you are. And to do that I'm actually going to start off using a program called GeoGebra. There's a link to download it on Edmodo there. If you want, you will be using it later on anyway, so if you want to look at it now and play with it, fine. I'm going to show you something to do with something called the tangent ratio. And we're going to do that by constructing a right angle triangle. So just kind of show you how this program works. Here, there's little drop-down menus here. For example, I want to make a little line segment between 2 points, like that. Just kind of clicking and dragging. And then if I want to create a perpendicular line, create a perpendicular line. And over here, the instructions say, okay, well, select the point and the perpendicular line. So I want to make it from this point perpendicular to that line, and boom, there's a perpendicular line right there. Okay. And then I want to make a triangle, so I'm going to go up here to my point or my segment tool again, click there, and click on that point, and boom, there is my right angle triangle. How do I know it's a right angle triangle? Well, I click on measure angle, click on those 3 points, and there it is. Well, it always says a reflex angle. I don't know why. I'm going to go in there and change that. Basic. Allow reflex angle. That's a no. Boom, 90 degrees. There we are. Okay, and the great thing about this is I can move this point up and down as well. I can change this point here, whatever. Okay, and if I want to measure the other angle, this one here, okay, you can see that it is 23.7 degrees. Okay, and again, if I move that up and down, that changes, and it just keeps reading it for me like that. Okay, if I move it in close like that, it's still 29.1. 29.1 doesn't really change very much. I can also label the lengths of these sides here. Let's go up here to this measuring tool. Distance from here to there is 4.6. Distance from here to here is 8.3. It does it all pretty easily. Pretty handy. A little cool little thing you get to play with there. All right. So here we have a triangle, and I've labeled those two spots specifically for a reason. We'll be looking at something called the tangent ratio. And so you can see that as I move these points up and down, my angles change and my side lengths change. But let's just take this triangle the way it is right now and look at a ratio, a particular ratio. Let me just switch to my other program here. Okay, so this is the same triangle that we just finished having here, this guy right there. So 2.6 by 8.3 with an angle of 17.4 degrees, same thing, just not quite to scale, not as pretty. Anyways, we are going to label some sides here. So this is a 90-degree angle right there, and all the triangles you're going to be dealing with are going to be 90-degree triangles, almost always. Okay, that's the only time when these trig functions work, is with 90-degree triangles. And so the side that's opposite the 90-degree angle, the longest side, is called the hypotenuse. You know that already. I may have spelled that wrong. And I'm looking at this 17.4 degree angle there. And if you look across from that angle, this is the opposite side. Okay? And what I like to do is I think this is like an little eyeball right here. And here's my little eyeball there. And the eye is looking at the opposite side. The side that's next to that angle, well, one of them is the hypotenuse. The one that's not the hypotenuse, the other side is called the adjacent side because it's next to. See, I'm talking and trying to write at the same time. Doesn't work very well. The adjacent side there. Okay, and so if I were to look at the ratio of the opposite side over the adjacent, okay, in other words, 2.6 over 8.3. Well, if you work that out on your calculator, go ahead and do that. Well, I'll do it for you. Don't bother stopping the video. 2.6 divided by 8.3, you get 0.313. The interesting thing is if you take your calculator and on your calculator you plug in